what's better than supervillains? Their transformations. Okay, supervillains may be good in their own right, but what's better than seeing the origins of them? Or more specifically, the moment they shed their masks of innocence and turn to the big bad bosses of the story. Recently, I bought 10 of those transformations, and since you took a liking to it, here are 10 more. Now, before you stop watching, no, we're not talking about William Dafoe's or James Franco's portrayal of the Goblin in the early 2000s Spider-Man movies. We're talking about the dashing Dane DeHaan acting out the rich bad boy Harry Osborn in The Amazing Spider-Man. How far are you willing to go to cure a disease that gives you scaly skin and long teeth and claws? In case you're thinking that is not too bad, we'll just throw in the chronic internal pain topped off with homicidal rage in its later stages. Of course, when poor Harry tries to rid himself of the disease, it ends up being the backfire of the century. Come to think of it, almost all cures in the Spider-Man universe end up backfiring. Remember Curt Connors? Anyway, so this leads to poor Harry writhing in pain before donning the legendary Goblin outfit. No transformation was more painful to undergo and witness than dear Bucky being twisted into a weapon of war by Hydra. But it's a million times better than him being dead, as the 2011 Captain America led us to heartbreakingly believe. It's no easy task to turn someone with a heart of gold into a mindless killing machine. It's with no small amount of agony that we watch the bravado of the young man who stepped in to save Skinny Rogers from the bullies, now being tortured by Hydra. It's heart-wrenching to watch dear Bucky Barnes as he desperately fights to make sense of the fragments of his memories. But more than anything else, this transformation showed us how no one could ever destroy the light within him. He didn't even kill the Hydra scientists who put him through all of that pain, even though he had every chance to do so. If this doesn't prove that supervillain transformations aren't permanent, we don't know what can. Didn't I tell you that cures seem to backfire in this franchise? But try as we might, it's really hard to dislike Dr. Curt Connors. After all, he only wanted everyone to be equal. He's probably the only person in the Spider-Man universe who wanted to share the so-called power he got. His arm, or the lack of it rather, was a sore pain to Dr. Curt. His aim in life was to ease the pain of not just himself, but of countless other injured people. This is the sentiment that eventually led him to release the serum on a global scale to change the life of millions, including his. Throughout the movie, we see how much Dr. Curt cares for Peter, the brilliant son of his dead colleague. He even told Peter about spreading the virus. This shows how, deep down, Dr. Kurt's a good man who believed that he was helping people. As much as I love his sentiments, I'd personally prefer to stick to my weak, mortal form than break out with scaly skin and a green tail.
Jack is dead, my friend. You can call me Joker.
Now, before you get excited, this is the Joker from the 1989 Batman movie. But don't worry, no villain list is complete without the hypnotic Joker from the 2019 movie. For those of you who don't know, the 1989 Joker was a violent criminal since his school days. And get this, he was the one who shot Bruce Wayne's parents. Jack decided to spare Bruce, but little did he know that that boy would later turn up to be his mortal enemy. For those of you high on superhero movies and tempted to take acid baths in hopes of reviving any dormant superpowers, allow us to intervene. Jack Napier became the Joker after a generous acid tub dip. Judging by how the Joker shot his first victim in classic comic theatre version, it's clear that this man is no longer the regular criminal Jack Napier. His near-death experience had removed his fears of dying and drove him completely insane. Given how he peppers people with bullets, we're going to take a wild guess that he loves the thrill of a good kill.
Gotham City always brings a smile to my face.
Now, I speak about a ton of movies and TV series in my channel, but in truth, most of these are restricted by their providers in some countries. So, how do you watch them? That's where CyberGhost VPN comes in. CyberGhost VPN allows high-speed streaming for 38 services including Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and all of your favorites. And it's not just limited to your Android phone or Windows laptop. This VPN has apps for Mac, iOS, Amazon Fire Stick, smart TVs, and even gaming consoles. Every time you're connected, you get an extra layer of security since your IP address is hidden and your data travels through a secure VPN tunnel. They have more than 36 million users around the world, and they also have 5 stars from Trustpilot with over 10,000 reviews. So you know you're in safe hands. To make things easier, I've arranged a huge discount for you. If you click the link below, you can purchase their services for a special monthly price of $2.75 plus activate 7 devices at the same time through one subscription. Is it worth it? Well, absolutely. You've got 24/7 customer support in 4 languages, access to geo-restricted website content including YouTube, you can find better deals online, play block games in your region, and if you still feel like you don't like it, you get a 45-day money-back guarantee. So click the link below and enjoy internet without limitations. Eddie Brock and Venom made their first appearance in the 2007 Spider-Man movie starring Tobey Maguire. As impressive as the transformation was in the 2018 Venom, it wasn't the result of a holy plea. Yeah, you heard that right. Eddie comes across Venom right after he prayed for Peter's death. Given how quickly Venom bonded with Eddie, it's obvious that he's a better host than Parker. But this transformation begs the question, why was he a better host? Peter was stronger because of the Spider-Venom, but as much as Peter loved the power, he didn't want to be evil. Eddie, however, loved that destructive power. Although he was a seemingly nice guy, his bond with Venom hints at something darker lurking within him. This transformation also happens to be the only mutating transformation in the Spider-Man series born out of pure hate. Even after being separated from the symbiote, Eddie wanted it back simply because he enjoyed being a crazy psycho. Next up is the transformation of Victor Von Doom. And no, we're definitely not talking about the 2015 remake. Everybody knows the Fantastic Four story, right? The exposure to the cosmic storm gives Doom an organic metallic body. While the Fantastic Four's mutation remains unstable, Doom's organic body just keeps growing. His psychotic tendencies are laid bare as he slaughters the investor that caused his ruin. Victor had always been one to crave power. Now, fortified by his new abilities, he's not going to let anything get in his way. Also, it's heavily implied by a lot of writers that his face isn't actually that badly scarred, but he's so delusional that he considers himself hideously disfigured. In the end, it's not the exposure to a cosmic storm that mutilated Dr. Doom, it was his vanity and pride combined with his greed for power that transformed him. Now this one is less of a physical transformation and more of a mindset transformation, and it's a change that comes in 3 stages. Angel, or Warren Worthington III, had trouble embracing his mutant status from early childhood. While some parents kicked their children out for being a mutant, others, like Warren Warrington II, were motivated to find a cure for mutants. Angel grew up ashamed and afraid of his mutant wings, so much so that he tried cutting them off. But when the time came for him to take the mutant cure, he took hold of his true self, brandishing his wings proudly. It's in the revised timeline that Angel turns up a full-fledged villain as a vain cage fighter, taking down his own mutant brothers and sisters. This is quite the twist from the quiet and timid boy in the previous timeline. His third and final transformation came when Apocalypse grants him metallic wings. From trying to cut his wings off to boost spiraling when his wings are damaged, this Archangel certainly came a long way in embracing his mutant wings. Here's someone who puts Dr. Doom's delusions to shame, and he also happens to wield electrical powers. Maybe it's something to do with the shock. Electro was Spider-Man's partner. Well, not really, although that's what Electro would like you to think. He lived his whole life without ever getting noticed by anyone until Spider-Man turned up and made Max Dillon his accomplice of sorts. But this recognition does him more harm than good, since Max gets obsessed with Spider-Man. Now getting treated like trash on their birthday is enough to tick anyone off, but getting electrocuted really tops things off. As poor Max gets electrocuted by genetically altered electric eels, he rages at the fact that his spider buddy isn't there to save him. And out comes Electro, looking like an eerie relative of Dr. Manhattan. And of course, he wants revenge from the whole world for what happened. Don't they all? But in a way, this scene is tragic because the world, the people around him, denied him basic human decency to the point of warping and twisting an innocent man's mind. Something to think about there, folks.
Knock, knock.
Last, but definitely not least, is the exquisitely crafted transformation in the phenomenal 2019 movie Joker. We just saw with Electro what happens when innocent people are pushed into a corner, and Arthur Fleck's story is the next step. Unlike every other villain on this list, Arthur was not transformed through serums or mutations. He was just an ordinary human pushed to the brink of sanity by the world, then kicked right off. As the movie rolls on, all we see is a young man, maybe even a kind young man given the way he reacted to a lady being bullied on the train, a young man trying to make an honest living while skipping his meals to feed his mother, a young man at whom life deals the worst cards of them all. Imagine learning that the one person you cared for had been lying to you. Imagine that your idol, your father-like figure, makes a mockery of you on national TV. The transformation of the Joker is like none other, portrayed in, dare I say, one of the best movies of the decade. And with that depressing note, we come to the end of this list. Hey, look, there's no need to feel so down, unless you're planning on transforming into a supervillain, of course. But the moral, so there's that too. So click the card on the top right to check out my superhero movie transformation playlist, and let me know if I've missed any supervillain transformations that you thought deserved to be on this list. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel as always, and I'll see you next time on the TV Regent.